first thing to note is how simple this language is. Of the 220 words, 172, or 78%, are only one syllable, and often they come in a rhythmic series like a volley of jabs ending with one of his buzzwords.
We have to get down to the problem.
39 words, or 17%, are two syllables long. Only 4 words have 3 syllables, 3 of which are the word
tremendous, tremendous, tremendous.
Evan Pushak has become a pioneer of the video essay format, where he critiques everything from how Donald Trump answers a question to fine art, film, literature, and more. He's become known as the Nerd Writer on YouTube, where his videos have over 225 million views.
And now he has a new book. It is called Escape into Meaning, Essays on Superman, Public Benches, and Other Obsessions. He turns his signature style into the written word. And Evan joins us live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you with us. So we saw one quick example here in the introduction, but for people not familiar with your work, describe how you put these pieces together and how you choose which topics to cover.
Well, the Nerd Writer is a show about art and culture and politics and really whatever I'm interested in. And so they're about 7 to 10 minute videos that do a deep dive into something that I'm really curious about. And in that case, it was the structure of Trump's language. But I talk about movies and poetry and painting, and I put it together in the same way that I put together the essays in the book. I just research and research and research, and then try to explain it to myself. And hopefully, the viewers can get something from that.
So one of the questions you were pondering is why Quentin Tarantino is only making 10 movies. So what did you find in your research?
So in the book, I have an essay called Thinking in Oeuvres, which is the French and fancy word for body of work. And what I found looking at Tarantino is that he is super interested in presenting a complete body of work to the public at the end of his career. And he's really worried about falling off as a movie director. As directors get old, sometimes their last few movies become worse than their best work, and he's quitting early in an attempt to prevent that from happening. And so he's got 9 movies so far. He'll have 1 left, and he's hoping that with all those movies being in the prime of his career, he'll be able to present a body of work to posterity that is free of the dead weight that you often see in other movie directors and artists.
We want to do one more example here, then we want to talk about some of the essays in the book here. But this one question you asked here, what in God's name drove me to watch Lord of the Rings 50 times?
That is a lot of time. That's a lot of time, too. Those are long movies.
Not only is it a lot of times, but it's a trilogy. So yes. it's a triply preposterous thing to do. Yeah, that actually is from the book. That is... You know, I'm obsessed with Lord of the Rings, the books and the movies, and it is just the coolest job in the world to get a chance to dive into why that might be. Mm-hmm. And so that is what the essay is. It's the title essay of the book called Escape into Meaning. And I'm just looking at the fact that I am clearly, I mean, the time speaks for itself. I am clearly drawn to this world. What is it in me? What is it in the culture that makes this story or high fantasy like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or all these fantasy stories that capture so many people? What makes it so immersive and so interesting to us? Right. And that is what the essay in the book is about.
And
nice.
You also have an essay in your book called Ode to Park Benches, and this is something that was born out of the pandemic.
It was. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have more moments of genuine peace on public benches than really anywhere else. I mostly live in cities. And so, you know, during the pandemic, there were very few things you could do outside during the lockdown. Sitting on a public bench was one of those things. And the beauty of public benches is that it transforms your relationship to the city. If you live in cities, you know that most of the time you're outside, you're moving from point A to point B without pause. That's what cities encourage you to do. But the beauty of public benches is that it allows you to step away from the herd and actually observe the city architecture. And doing that, you get a different relationship with the world around you. And that's just a small piece in the larger conversation about the need and necessity of green and communal urban spaces that cities around the world are trying to build, and which was made, I think, much more important by the pandemic.
Wow. Evan, I got to say, we interview a lot of authors, and I'm really excited for this book here. I mean, you have some really unique topics, and your explanation of why you go into them is pretty cool. So I'm excited. Here's the information here. Again, the book is called Escape into Meaning. There's the YouTube channel. You can watch some of these essays here and his social media handles. Evan, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you so much. I'm excited that you guys are excited.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.